Let's talk NBA playoffs. And let's start with some easy ones. Let's get them out of the way. The Thunder, whoever the 8 seed is in the West, whether it is the Suns or the Trailblazers, I believe the Thunder will take care of them in 4 games against the Trailblazers and 5 games against the Suns. I think the Suns are one of those frisky teams. They can maybe make a run. We'll see. But not a run. A run as in they stay competitive in these games with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're definitely a year away. They need to do a little bit more rebuilding and reforming of the team. I think the Blazers are exciting as a young team. Having Avdija, if I'm pronouncing that right. I've never really got the pronunciation right for him, but he is a great player. He's an up-and-coming player. Guys like Scoot Henderson are finally getting it going for the team. I think this Portland team has a lot to look forward to in years to come. But for right now, I think that both of these teams would get nearly swept or a gentleman's sweep by the Thunder. Let's talk about the Spurs, another easy pick. Whoever the 7 seed is in the West, so that can be any of the teams that I just mentioned, the Suns, the Trailblazers. It can also be the Warriors or the Clippers. I think that the Spurs, being a young team, are going to drop a game easily, but I do think that whoever they face, they will win in 5 games. Let's move to some other ones. The Celtics, I think this is an easy one, over the 7 seed in the East. The 7 seed at this point can be the Magic or the Sixers. Whoever's the winner of that, I believe that the Sixers not having Embiid, the Celtics would sweep them. Against the Magic, I think the Magic could steal a game, but they're clearly not the team that they have been in past years. They're still a very good defensive team, but other than that, you can't really say much about them. Let's move to some moderately tough picks. And this is what I like a little bit more. So, moderately tough. The Pistons over the 8 seed in the East. I don't think this is really tough to pick, which is why it's my first one. But the 8 seed in the East can be the Sixers, the Heat, the Magic, or the Hornets. I think whatever team it may be, I think Cade Cunningham coming back, being healthy, is a testament to the fact that they will win this series. I think Jalen Duren has been one of the best players in basketball, will likely make second team All-NBA. And I think that regardless if Cade is playing well or not, he will lead the charge. And the Pistons are just better than any of these teams. I think the Heat are the one team that could take them probably to 6 games. And that's not just being a homer. The Heat have played well against them this season, contrary to these other teams. So I think that's an easy pick. Pistons in 6 against the Heat, in 4 or 5 against any of the other ones. The Knicks, I think that they will win over the Hawks in 6 games. I think that the Hawks are a very frisky team, definitely the most frisky team in the NBA. Having guys like Jalen Johnson, who is going to be All-NBA this season and should be, having guys like Jonathan Kuminga come in the doors and just light it up as soon as he gets there. There's guys coming off the bench like Buddy Hield, and especially the emergence late in the season of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He was very good on the Timberwolves, and now he has a bigger role with this Atlanta Hawks team. I think it's something to look at for years to come. There's a lot of rumors that they might make a big trade because of the assets that they have. So looking into the offseason, because I don't think they're real contenders, even though they were exciting late in the season, when we look at the offseason, I think that this team could make a big splash and emerge as one of the top seeds in the East next year. As far as this year, the Knicks are a better team, led by Jalen Brunson. I think it's very dependent on Cat. Is he going to be a good scorer from beyond the arc? We would only hope so. This Knicks team can't lose this series. If you lose this series, it says a lot. And the last time you lost to the Hawks in the series, it was devastating at the stakes of Trae Young. So he's not there anymore. The boogeyman is gone. You should win this series in about 6 games. I have an upset. The Raptors beating the Cavs in 6 games. The Raptors are 3-0 against the Cavs this season, and I understand most of those games might not have been when the Cavs were fully healthy. But 2 out of 3 of those games were with Donovan Mitchell on the floor, and he is the key component for the Cavs if they are going to move on in this round. If he can get scoring, I think that the Cavs can handle this series very easily. But I think this Toronto Raptors team really has something going with the likes of Brandon Ingram. You have RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quigley, Scotty Barnes. This is a very complete team that works together, has chemistry, and I think gets past this first round to everyone's surprise and ends up in the second round, probably not making it much farther. I think if you match up against the Pistons in the second round, you are probably going to get clobbered. But I think it'll be a very exciting first round with a Raptors team that matches up very well. So I think that's the big difference here. I think that they were pretty much a sleeper team in this conference, the Raptors, all season. People were overlooking them, and now they see themselves as the 5 seed, which is way higher than anybody would have ever projected, and they deserve it. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to team formation, and I also think that this team could make a big splash in the offseason. Let's move on to the hard picks. These ones were pretty hard for me. The first one being the Rockets over the Lakers in 6 games. A team led by KD, a Lakers team that likely will not have Luka the whole series and won't have Austin Reeves, is now led by a 41-year-old LeBron James, who in his last 3 games has played very well. Granted, 2 of those games were against the Jazz and the Mavs, but has played very well and has been averaging great numbers. And I think that this is the best case scenario for LeBron, where he finally gets to showcase his talent and showcase that he can be a number 1 guy on a lot of teams in the NBA. I think it elevates his trade stock headed into the offseason, but I don't think it's very competitive against this Rockets team. It's one of these series where I think the Rockets have it in hand. They're probably up 3-1, and they drop a close game in that 5th game. But I think Houston takes care of it. I think that they're just, if you were to draft a bunch of players in this series that are healthy, you would draft 5 out of 6 of the players on the Rockets, and then you might think of more Lakers. So I don't really know. All I know is that if Houston advances, they have a 3-8 record against the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Thunder. And especially the Thunder is who they would match up against. I don't think they're beating them in a 7-game series. I don't even know if it goes to 5 games. It might be a sweep for the Thunder. I think the Thunder match up with them just great. So I don't think it's necessarily close, but I do think that Houston will win this series. They are a huge favorite coming in at minus 750. If you're to bet the Lakers, you might make a lot of money. If you're thinking that LeBron can turn into 2018 LeBron, I don't necessarily think so, and I think Amen Thompson might be a good defensive matchup for LeBron. But if you think, or you have any faith in the Lakers, I would definitely make your bet today. The other tough one for me is the Nuggets. I think that they will beat the T-Wolves in a 7-game series. This is the one series that goes to 7 games, and I think it's going to be so entertaining. I think it's the one series that you have to watch night in and night out. You are watching the best player in the world, in Nikola Jokic, and if any series is going to go to 7, it's this, where he is facing Anthony Edwards, who elevates his performance in the playoffs, has guys like Rudy Gobert on his team, Jaden McDaniels. This is such an entertaining series. Julius Randle's on this team. I think he's going to be a key player in the success of this team. And I think for the Nuggets, not having Aaron Gordon, not having likely Cam Johnson, you are going to see a playoff Jamal Murray that doesn't have to pass the ball. It is just him and Nikola Jokic, ISO on the court. Everybody else doesn't need to play. They also don't have Peyton Watson. This is scary for a Nuggets team, and I think if they get out of this round, they will have Cam Johnson returning, which is very important. You shipped off MPJ last year, and now he's been healthy on the Nets all year, and you can't get Cam Johnson to stay healthy. Hopefully he's able to play this series, but I think it's just staying in that series for the Nuggets, being the great offensive team that they have been. I am not looking past the T-Wolves, who have made 2 straight Western Conference Finals, But I do know that they are facing a Joker that I just can't see getting bounced in the first round. I think that if he's coming with fresh legs, that they're not going to be able to stop him night in and night out. But I do think it goes to 7 just based on the Anthony Edwards clutch factor, the fact that this Minnesota defense has been good for 3 straight years and has been underrated. But I do think this is the worst version of a T-Wolves team that we have seen in quite a while. Not having guys like Cat anymore or Nikhil Alexander Walker. Those departures make a slightly worse team. So I do think that even though the Nuggets have some injuries that they're battling through, that they'll be able to take care of this series. And that is the NBA playoffs, the first round, and the NHL playoffs. If you enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to like, share, and show any amount of support that you can. We're trying to make it big. I'm trying to find my voice back. Hopefully, I will have it back next week when I see you. We'll see you next week.